Alright, I'm just going to show you a little bit about my sawmill here too. Somebody had asked for me to go into a little detail in my other videos, so I'll just give you a little look-see here without the mill running. Those are my saw wheels. They're aluminum, homemade, pillow block bearings, which are adjustable right there for tracking, and the other back ones are the same. They're adjustable for tracking on both sides. Those are my guides, 4140 pre-hard tool steel guides with bearings in them, greasable. Of course, this one moves back and forth. Of course, this rear wheel here, it's tubing on top of tubing, 2 inch on top of 1 3/4 inch, so it slides back to adjust the blade tension. I have a hydraulic cylinder there pushing on that ram, which in turn pushes on the blade down in there. That's hard to get where it is down in there, which tensions up my blade. And actually, I modified a Harbor Freight pump just because they're so darn cheap. You can't even, it's hard to even imagine. I built one, believe it or not, but so I modified this one here. So I just use it as a pump and a reservoir, and drilled and tapped the top of it and cut the ram off and welded it so it won't come up anymore. And I use this old gauge here, set her at like 2300 psi, and that gives me the proper band tension, and it works like a charm. As far as my engine, what I do, I have my little dashboard here. This engine came off a Cub Cadet lawn tractor. It's a 15 horsepower engine, and from what I've been told and what internet research says, it is actually a 20 horsepower engine, but they put a smaller carburetor on it. So and sometime I might up it to 20, but honestly 15 does a pretty nice job here. So I have an electric clutch. I'm using the electric clutch. And what I also do, I originally had an 8 horsepower engine on here. And I have like a sliding motor mount arrangement here. And this tall red handle, when I pull that handle down, that causes the motor to slide. And that's what tensions my belt up. So I actually use both setups. I throw the electric clutch and I throw this handle up, and then the blade comes to a stop. So that works out pretty slick. As far as my up and down adjustment, these are 1H5 Acme rods here, and on this side they come down. On the top, inside there, I have thrust bearings both sides, and then there's a chain that ties the two of them together. Move this out the road. Yeah, there's a chain that ties the two of them together, and that chain comes on to here, which comes down to a right angle drive, and that's what I do to raise and lower my saw head. It works real nice and smooth, and it's nice and solid. And then this is 2x4 steel tubing, and then I have an arrangement here where I built these roller guides that guide the saw up and down on this tubing, and then this tubing's been machined so that it's nice and square. Same on the other side. And underneath you can see there's the Acme nut there. And this is the pulley for the drive wheel. And you'll notice that it's actually a 2 V-belt pulley, because my original setup had 2 V-belts on it, and for the horsepower you should have 2 V-belts on it. But these guys, lawn tractor manufacturers and stuff, they all run one belt, these blue V-belts. So when I took the 8 horsepower off and I wanted to use that clutch, I went down to a single pulley, and so far it seems like it's working. The black V-belts do tend to wear out from clutching them in and out, so I keep a couple of them stored in here so I can put one on in the event I break one. Because as you can see, it's close there, and I can't slide a V-belt through there. So, and the reason it's close is I want to keep my saw head as close to my upright guides as possible for strength. So that's the reason I did that. And this is my hand pump blade lube. Of course, you pump it up. There's a valve here. Turn the valve off and on, and it sends the blade lube right down there on the blade. So that works out pretty fine. And underneath here, You know, I got grooved roller wheels that I made with bearings in them and spacers that naturally guide the machine down the rails. So I think that pretty much covers the features. I do have this scale here. The small one reads from the bottom up all the time. The other one's adjustable, and those are set in 1 inch plus 1 kerf increments, so you can just go from 1 to 1, or you can count turns of the handle, which is what I usually end up doing anyway. I think that pretty much covers it. You know, there's guards. The guards come off, removable. This front guard flips up. It's on piano hinge, so you can get at the blade to change the blade easy enough. You know, fuel tank, fuel filter, and of course I did a little different deal with the exhaust system here, because that original cam muffler came straight out the side, so I built this box tubing set up to basically turn the muffler up 90 degrees to bring it up out of the road there, so that it clears all the upright supports. And I think I've already covered this. That's the winch I use for log loading and turning. The way I got my setup here, usually I leave it on that side and I load logs from the side I'm filming on here. But unfortunately I got the mill turned around, so I'm not blowing sawdust here up against my metal pole barn. So it forces me to load logs from there up, which means I gotta switch the winch onto this side when I want to load logs. But I can do it, but it's an extra hassle. So normally I don't do it this way, and I think I pretty much covered any other stuff, the toe boards and the clamping mechanism and leveling legs. So hopefully that helps somebody else out building one. If you're building one, good luck. They're a blast once you get them done. But okay, I'm gonna go to cutting this up into 2x4s. I think there's plenty of video and that kind of stuff. All right, people, enjoy it. Bye.